Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talking Shit. Talking Ship. It's the day after Thanksgiving. We just got some information off the CNN network, lawyer, consultant, and quite frankly, a nice guy, Joey Jackson, the lawyer, this morning was talking a little bit about how this abnormal, sort of almost illegal, if I could say so, or the way that the jury was, the grand jury was fucked with by way of Robert McCulloch or whatever the fuck his name is. You know, that prosecutor really fucked up. He really fucked up. He really screwed up. We have a chapter of the NAACP in North Carolina upset, the Bar Association in his area. There's a lot of people that need to say something about how this jury was tampered in. I want to go through this stuff. People have been talking to me on Twitter about it, and I mean, people really don't see the mirage of bullshit surrounding this stuff. They're saying, yeah, these are the facts. Well, then why did he have to have his assistant or associate tamper with the way that the information was presented to the jurors, right? Why did she read some old-ass law that had nothing to do with current law on how things are processed in regards to the laws about cops having the right to use deadly force? And they mixed up some of the information that they were giving the jurors, telling them not to worry about certain things. This assistant who does autopsies for the family was full of shit. There's a lot of murky, fucked up. What is Eric Holder doing, right? What is Barack Obama doing, right? The nation is at an uproar, even in regards to most other folk back door, the sales and the marketing of our country. You know, today is Black Friday. I'm not going to buy shit, you know, because I refuse to believe that that verdict was legit. You know, we're not buying shit because the verdict wasn't legit. We're not buying shit because the verdict wasn't legit. You know, that man, you know, Darren Wilson needs to be brought up on charges. You know, Robert McCulloch, what's his name is Robert McCulloch. Robert McCulloch, put down your Ku Klux Klan robe and report to trial. You know, he needs to be brought up on charges. He abused the jury. He lied. He committed perjury. He falsified evidence. He made it so that we had to go through all this bullshit. He incited a riot in that town. You know, he incited that. You know, he drummed that up until the end of the evening and made it so, you know, they already had all this information. They made sure that the businesses would be burned and stuff. He's in trouble, right? He didn't do something right, okay? This is not how these things work. People on Twitter talking about this is how grand juries work. Do you realize how much fucking fallback, feedback, and bullshit would be going on if all grand juries were ran like this? Stop that! That's a lie! That is not how it's done. Look at me, redneck person who likes Fox News. This is not how grand juries are ran. You know, and then I'm getting sick and tired of people talking about we have to obey the law. And the law, they had the evidence. Okay, so what about when Obama writes a law and the Supreme Court and he and the Supreme Court sign off on it? If we're going to obey the law and obey the government, see, it's cherry-picked, right? They cherry-picked what laws we were going to cooperate with. It's a bullshit. I mean, even the president of North Korea said, he released a press release saying that we in America have social issues, you know. I mean, this is ridiculous. We got the president of North Korea criticizing our draconian-ass way of dealing with that shit the other day. There's bullshit, see? This is bullshit. Nobody wants to believe it. Say it isn't so, but it is, and it's like, I'm just sort of leery. I'm sort of scared, almost frightened at the amount of ignorance that is pouring in to this idea that he walked up to this policeman and started slapping this man in the face. And let's say that Michael, this is my last example, okay? Let's say that Michael Brown, of course, did what he did at the convenience store. That he did, in fact, call the man a pussy, okay? That he did, in fact, slap him around in the face, okay? According to the way that even Darren Wilson told his story, he had plenty of an opportunity to do a lot of stuff that would have hurt Michael Brown, that would have brought him down, besides using that gun to take his life. Why isn't he talking about the vehicle? I need to read some of the transcripts. Was the vehicle on? Was the car on? Why didn't he run his ass over? Or hit him with the vehicle, with it, put it in drive and hit it. He didn't have the gun. He tried to grab the gun. What about the training? I want to know the history of Darren Wilson and his relationship with Robert McCulloch. What was their interaction during the grand jury and right after the shooting? I want to know about Robert McCulloch, the prosecutor. I'll start calling him the prosecutor because his name is worse than mine. I want to know the prosecutor's history in these cases. Everybody keeps saying that he has a history of defending these cops. Bring all that out, okay? Bring all that out, okay? Let's hear it all, okay? We ain't in the secret grand jury anymore, right? So why are we withholding certain facts about how this process works? Bring that all out. CNN gonna do a blackout. We already blacked out. See, that's the problem, CNN talking about they don't like the violence. Nobody likes the violence. But violence is a part of human behavior. Now, can we move on with the reason for it? Come on, Obama. Why is everybody focusing on the violence? No, let me tell you something about rioting. Rioting does not baseline protest. Rioting is not the baseline of protest. Sometimes rioting happens. Sometimes violence happens. But the real goal is to get all the shit taken care of. It is not to pinpoint the part that is the most fucked up about this whole ordeal. And truly not even be honest about that. Because the real most fucked up part about this is Mike Brown was not at that Thanksgiving dinner table. The real part about this is people start losing respect for the very process that Mike McCulloch disrespected, right? That the justice system already has enough problems as it is. Robert McCulloch, and then this police chief, and now that somebody tried to take their life. Well, it didn't happen, though. Mike is dead. I don't know, and that's not appropriate either. If somebody's threatening people like that, then, they need to be dealt with. That is so fucking off topic. I want the scrutiny that is required to handle some, fucked up stuff that officials do to be looked. This has got to be investigated faster. Nate Holder, what are you doing? What are y'all investigating? What are y'all looking at? Let the people know, man, instead of all this guesswork and bullshit. Listen, they misinformed the grand jury. They misdirected the grand jury. They did not cross-examine this man. They protected and supported everything that came out of his mouth, which means Michael Brown's family had no advocacy in the courtroom. You do not attack the victim. You don't attack a dead person. He had nobody there, Michael Brown, as an advocate legally. His parents were there, but he didn't have an advocate. So basically, Michael Brown is guilty. This is bullshit. We didn't lose. We were bamboozled. And I don't know why Spike Lee and Russell Simmons and all these sociological giants from the black community, let's move beyond color and get into the actual realistic, truth-based situation. When are we going to do that? When are we all going to get together and go, wait a minute, our shit's falling apart as a black community? What about the other people that are trying to help us? There's a lot of white people out there protesting and helping, sit-ins all over the country. I'm so proud of the human family. You know, I'm not proud of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm not proud of Robert McCulloch's plan. And I'm definitely upset with all that money they gave this motherfucker. They gave Darren Wilson over $500,000, man. You know, is that the new bounty on a Negro that don't have anybody to help him out after he's been murdered? They paid him, you know. And then can you imagine if some twisted motherfucker gets the idea in law enforcement that that's how you can make your money? You go, you kill somebody, you have an entire community come after you, and then the prosecutor helps raise money for you. I was hearing that Robert McCulloch, the prosecutor, was in charge of the Darren Wilson Support Fund and helped support that. He had something to do with the higher echelons of getting the money together to be donated to this motherfucker. I think that people should go online right now and start making videos on some of the stuff that Darren Wilson has robbed this Brown family from and robbed Michael Brown from. What did Darren Wilson rob Michael Brown of? You know, people talk about Michael Brown was a bully. You know, so is Donald Rumsfeld. But nobody has taken him out in the street and shot him in his head. This is bullshit. We will see this through. I will continue to connect with you. That's all the time we have now for talking shit. I'll see you when it's time to eat. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holiday.